Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Now today I'm going to be doing a little editorial blog, kind of talking about all the things that has happened with Mighty Number 9 over the past few weeks. The game came out, it kind of just crashed and bombed, and it had many technical problems. I didn't notice too much on my Xbox One run, but I have seen videos and other problems with the game, and if you got it on a platform where it was bad, then you have the right to be pissed. And personally, like I said, I wasn't that disappointed in it. When it comes to games, I rarely visit message boards anymore. I rarely go out and look at the developer stuff, and I rarely try to get myself too hyped over games anymore, because I realize that, hey, if I go into these fan forums every day, if I talk and look at everything that this game designer is doing, I'm going to hype myself up, and then it's going to be ultimately disappointing when it came out. And I even predicted that it would be disappointing when it was launched, back when it was kickstarted, just because of the amount of hype. When I saw that they were doing things like an anime, a TV show, and even talks about the sequel before the original game even got here or even close to being done, I'm like, unless this game is like the best game ever made, it's going to go down as crap, and what do you know? But anyways, I'm here to talk about the guy who made this game, Kenji Inafune, and do my Herbert Hoover comparison. Now, last year, after the unfortunate death of Satoru Iwata of Nintendo, a lot of people were like, Shigeru Miyamoto should be up for the job because he's kind of the most well-known character at Nintendo and has created a long list of games. And I kind of piped up saying, no, Shigeru Miyamoto would be like putting Herbert Hoover in charge of the White House again. It would be a disaster. And for those who don't know history, and the history books that I've read as far as textbooks when I was in high school don't really cover Hoover much. Generally, it's believed he didn't do much, and therefore, that's why the country kind of went into a Great Depression. However, if you actually really do look at the guy, you kind of quickly realize that can't be true. Herbert Hoover was a genius at the jobs he did before he became president. That's one of the reasons why he won in the landslide and why everybody wanted him in the office of presidency. He saved Europe from a famine after World War I. He helped kind of rebuild after several natural disasters in the 1920s. Pretty much any job he did in the government turned out gold, so why not give him the top spot? Well, because when you're the chief executive officer, when you're kind of the guy up in charge, you're not supposed to micromanage. You're supposed to let people do their jobs and just run the ship, and that can be a completely different thing than what you were doing before. In the case of Inafune, his job was producer. His job was to get money to these projects and to make sure that they were going well. And even after he left Capcom, he managed to do that well. Why? Because I just got done playing through a game called Azure Striker Gunvault, and that game has his name on it as the executive producer. And just like Mighty Number 9, it has a Mega Man feel to it, and wants you to know that this is definitely supposed to be an homage to a Mega Man game. It doesn't push the line as far as Mighty Number 9, and that's to its credit. But you can tell by the character designs and just the way the stages are played and the way the story goes that this was obviously probably originally meant to be a Mega Man game, maybe part of the Mega Man ZX series, if Capcom hadn't completely shut down that franchise. And it turns out to be actually fun because the people who made that game, rather than trying to release it to everybody, focused on one platform. They focused it on the 3DS, and then they later made a Steam port after it was released on the 3DS. They didn't try to release it on every platform, new and old, and what we got was a really solid game. Anyways, back to the Herbert Hoover thing. I think that's what happened here. Inafune came in with this grand design to release this game on every platform, especially after he got enough funds to do it, that he didn't realize what he was getting into. A lot of these mistakes that I see in Mighty Number 9 are sophomoric attempts. Mainly He didn't understand the programming. He got an outdated engine, an engine that was no longer really being updated by the people who made it, and therefore he and his team had to go back and recode individual bits of the game for every console that it was released on. Hence why I think in some cases the game is buggy as shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but that's probably the reason for it. Like I said, I still had fun with it. But when you put someone who has no clue on how to run a ship in front of a big company and have this huge project, you're going to fail. And that's what we saw here. I think he just had his hands into something he didn't really know about, and that's why. Would I trust him with another Mighty Number 9 game? Yeah, I hope this game does have a sequel, and I hope that he's able to learn from his mistakes. If he makes a Mighty Number 9 2 and it's full of these technical errors, if it's got gameplay that's got some good ideas but they're not fully fleshed out and nothing's improved, then yeah, all the bad hype towards Kenji Inafune I will be on board with, because it will be absolutely true. He does not know how to make games, and he should dissolve his company, and he should probably go find someone who he can work with that can follow his dreams, because he's not meant to be the head of ship. Like I said, he can still produce these games just fine. Like I said, Mighty Gunvault, or not Mighty Gunvault, Ultra Striker Gunvault was a really fun game, and it's getting a sequel, and it's coming out for the Nintendo 3DS sometime later this year, and I'm probably going to pick it up for the 3DS. You won't see me do a review on it because I can't review 3DS games, but hopefully if it's ever released on Steam at a cheap price, you might see me pick it up to do a review, because the first game was really, really fun, and I enjoyed playing it, and I'm going to enjoy talking about it. But my thought when it comes to Mr. Inafune, like I said, he does good at his job as producing games. That's what he is. He's in the business aspects of it. He knows a little bit about the development, but I don't think he's ready to run the ship. Hopefully he has learned from his mistakes. Just listening to the Brotherhood of Gaming's review, and like I said, not paying attention to all this, didn't know about that. Yeah, when you have your community managers punishing people because of their political opinions on things like Gamersgate, you need to fire her right away, especially if she's withholding something they have legally paid for. And that's a problem. So hopefully he'll learn from his mistakes. If not, then like I said, you'll see me bashing him when that day comes. Me, I'm just a little bit more patient than most people. Hopefully he has learned from his mistakes. I did enjoy Mighty Number 9. It's not a great game, but it's not a terrible one either. If you can demo it on whatever console you have, feel free to do it. Anyways, this is Tommy the Game Master, thanking you for listening to this rant. I am signing out now.